Start small.
Right.
A lot of people may disagree, but the thing is, start small, get that first business proof. And when you do that, it will do two things for you. One, it helps you understand whether you are on the right path or not. It gives you the confidence, and it also helps you establish the process. So what I've always seen, that the process and the methodology you use to run your business goes a long way in creating a successful business. And successful businesses are created with strong foundation. And when you have your process in place, well defined from day one, even before you earned 1 rupee, ensure that you have at least the basic process of your organization in place. Write them down. So even small things, like if you're doing goal setting for yourself, take a pen and paper. Yes, I'm old school like that. I am not this thing about notes and iPad and technology. I still go the traditional way of paper and pen. So write your goals down and then break them down. And once you are able to break your larger ambition or whatever you want to do in smaller chewable formats,
Hmm.
then automatically you will start feeling more confident. Because when we see something large, it's kind of it gets us, whether I can achieve it or not, it can be quite overwhelming. However, when we are able to break that down, and this is something which I always say, that ask why at least 5 times from yourself. So if you're trying to achieve something big, why do you want to achieve that? That will give you an answer. Then ask another why, and then finally ask the how. And then break everything down. And when you see those small bits, you'll see, okay, I can achieve that. So those small steps add up, and that increases your confidence and motivates you further to do better.
Rashi, that was very insightful and interesting, and I think our audience would also agree this is something that everyone can practice. So
Absolutely.
right. So I would actually like to ask the audience, what are the fears you had, before starting your business? अपनी business शुरू करने से पहले आपके कोई doubts थे, कोई fears थे, and how did you overcome them? We would like to know your strategies as well. You can leave them in the chat box below. We also have a question from Sairi that I will read out. Okay. Sairi says, can we hear about fear of finance and managing our revenues and costs? Rashi, if you have any insights to share here.
Well, actually, this is something very interesting. I always say that I'm a management expert from the business process point of view. Don't talk to me about finance, because that's something which is outside of my domain. However, we are in that forum. Mahila Money is the forum. I think there are people here who can advise. There are options of loans, and yes, finance is a fear. In my case, when I started, like I said, having that monthly salary was something which I was, kind of unsure about. However, since I was always aware that I wanted to become an entrepreneur, what I had started doing is saving very early. So the initial capital for my business came from my own money, which I had saved over the years. And that helped me at two places. One, when I started my business in 2017, and second, when COVID happened. So those were the two places where the money which I had saved. So be frugal with your money. That's very important. Again, a lot of advice. You get onto Mahila Money app. I'm sure you will have a lot of advice over here. You have options to loan, but even before that, if you have that kind of fear, ensure that you have your check and balances. Understand debit credit very well. Do not leave it on a specific finance person only. Please learn basics about the balance sheet and managing the basics about the money. In fact, I strongly believe that women are very smart with money, uh, because they are the ones who manage their household. they know महीने का कितना पैसा आएगा and which has to go where under what head. So they also understand the accounting factions of which head is to be used where, what goes in the kitchen, what goes in other areas of home, clothes or luxury. So these are the heads which we use in financial bookkeeping also. So it's not much different. It's only that we feel that because now it's business, it has to be technical. No, it's not. Please use your practical knowledge, which you have been using over the years, and believe me, you will shine like nobody's business. There would be no fear of money.
Thank you, Rashi. That's a great advice considering this, like you said, that we are all already practicing all these money habits, and the fear of business shouldn't hold you back.
Absolutely.
So, Rashi, what advice would you give to women entrepreneurs who are struggling with self-doubt or the fear of failure?
So, okay, two things. Understanding why do we have self-doubt? Again, what happens is when you start a business, we look at people around us, our immediate surrounding, our family, friends, to encourage us and maybe even buy from us. However, most of the times, what happens, at least 70% of the times, when we look around our immediate circle, and yes, I'm making a kind of a you can say controversial statement, the people around you don't buy from you. They expect freebies. They expect that because your family, because your friends, you'll do it for them. So that doesn't help with your confidence at all, because again, proof of business doesn't get established here. So the best way to do is people who will actually buy from you are people who don't know you. And to do that, what you need to do is build communities. You need to become part of networking groups, business networking. I'm not talking social networking. Again, I always say start small. Look around yourself. The area you're looking in, is there a business association or a business group over there? Today we live in a digital age. Social media is a great help. Search for entrepreneur or business groups online, and you will find many of them. And again, courtesy the pandemic, what has happened is a lot of them work online. In my time, I remember the only place where we could find such setup was Meetup, and that was also not very good or very successful. However, in today's time, things have changed drastically. So you could be sitting in one city and you could be chatting with somebody sitting in across the world somewhere else, courtesy the online medium. So build your communities, build networking, go out and network. That's another thing with a lot of women. It happens is that they are not able to step out and talk about themselves. We are always taught to appreciate everything around us and everyone around us. We forget to appreciate ourselves first. So that is the first mantra. And the second part is look for a mentor. It's always great to have somebody who has been there, uh, done it, who has been in your shoes, knows it, and reached a certain level. As they always say, that you become as similar to the five people you surround yourself with.
Right.
So keep that in mind. Ensure that you have a mentor who can guide you accordingly, and build communities. When you are able to do these two things, the fear will go out of the window.
That was a fantastic answer, Rashi. Thank you so much. Now, before opening the floor to our audience, my last question is: could you share a personal story or anecdote that illustrates the power of overcoming fear and doubt in entrepreneurship?
Very interesting. Again, I just mentioned about the lockdown and the pandemic. That was the second time where I kind of actually within business. That was the first time I faced a problem. Like I said, initially I'm a process person. So I had plan A, plan B in place right at the beginning of starting my own business. Again, my experience in the corporate world helped, because I was known as somebody to launch new business verticals and making them revenue success. So I was like, okay, that's like a easy thing for me. lockdown was something totally unexpected. Of course, nobody had predicted that. And that is where I had come to the stage where I thought, will I be closing my business? Because there was nobody was, kind of getting into coaching or calling me over for training sessions. But again, you have to find ways around and work as per the situation. So I learned seeing others. I saw suddenly people were going online. Zoom had become very big suddenly. The world order was changing, the thinking was changing. So that was the point where I really feared losing whatever I had built. However, when you keep your self aware of your surrounding, keep your eyes open, and have that belief that, okay, there is a problem, but then one can find the solution. In fact, I was sharing earlier that I had a session today morning, and there was this interesting discussion I had with one of the attendees. And the final discussion which I shared with him was that if a problem is there and you are at the receiving end of the problem, know that for a fact that there is a solution to that, and you are capable of working through the solution. That's, you can call it manifestation, you can call it law of attraction, but I have a very strong belief that if you have a problem, it has come to you only because the universe believes that you can find a solution to it. And that's the belief you need to have in yourself. That's what I did that time. And the changing mindset, I went and launched my webinars, and things changed. I'm still standing here working on my business.
And it's great to have you here. You're very right. Entrepreneurship is about being solution oriented and flexible with changing times, especially. All right, we have one question here. How do you encourage entrepreneurs to take calculated risks while managing their fears?
Well, I always say that two things. One, keep an eye. In fact, my mentor used to say this, and I have, initially it was difficult for me to understand, but I get it now. He used to always say, look at the bigger picture, Rashi. Never lose sight of the big picture. And that will help you to keep going ahead. And when it comes to the smaller aspects of everyday working, then uh, again, what you need to do is find that community. There are people, like, again, we were speaking about the pandemic times. I was part of a community of entrepreneurs. None of them were doing great business. The factories were shut down, offices were off. So we had each other for support, that I am not alone. And when you have, and when you build that kind of community around you, it always helps and it keeps you going. And of course, the advisors, the other entrepreneurs will also help you with small things in your business, and managing people also, how they have managed certain things. And when you know that you are not alone, you can move ahead.
Right. Thank you for that, Rashi. We also have one more question coming from Vandana. She says, in your experience, what are some effective ways to build resilience and bounce back from setbacks in business?
Okay, so the first thing first, know that you will face failure. Always know that everything will not go as per your plan. And when you know that, you automatically start planning for the backup options, a plan B, a plan C. Sometimes they will fail too. So it's okay to fail. There are people in the industry today, they are extremely successful, but they have multiple startup failures before they found success. Understand, failure is not a comment on you that you are no good. It is a stepping stone to the next step up or scale up in your life. That could be anything. It could be another startup, it could be another business, or it could be, I know of women who have gone back to the corporate world after a stint in their business, and realizing that probably they're not made for it, and it's okay. So the moment you stop being overcritical of yourself and thinking that if I don't succeed, I am a failure, then things become easier.
Thank you everyone for your questions. This has been an incredible session filled with great insights and stories. I had a great time and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Today we discussed the incredible journey of Rashie and what it entails to overcome one's fears. Thank you, Rashie, for joining us and for sharing your journey and learnings with us so generously.
You're most welcome, and I love doing these sessions because again, it's great seeing faces and their reactions when you're talking. So thank you for having me over. It was awesome.
All right, then. Thank you all for joining us today. We hope you continue your business journey and know that Mahila Money is here to support you to Jio Apne Dam Pe. Do watch out for more updates on the Mahila Money app. Until then, this is Mavis from Mahila Money signing off. Thank you all. Bye bye.